We're live. Hey, everyone, I'm Bob Wilson. This is straight out of Workers Comp, simulcasting, we'll say, on the Deconstructing Comp channel. My partner here, Mark Pugh, is with us. That would be Mark, the one with the big head. I'm the small head here today. And
I've been called worse.
Our feature, the big giant head. You ever call you that? Third rock from the sun.
There
you go.
With the last name of Pugh, I've definitely been called worse.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's probably true. All right. And our featured guest today, who's now really second-guessing his decisions, is Jim Anderson, who is an attorney out of with Caddy and Gonzalez out of now Austin, Texas,
right,
formerly of Mississippi.
Right.
And Jim, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. We are podcasting live from the WCI conference in Orlando, Florida, sunny and cool Orlando, Florida. And if they believe that, they have bigger problems.
That's exactly right.
It is not cool here. So, Jim, thanks for joining us today.
Well, thank you very much for having me. This will be a fun time to get together and visit with everybody.
It is. It's a great conference for that. It really
Absolutely.
is. We will mention this is in the central hallway at the Orlando World Marriott, which is probably the largest Marriott property in the world. There are about 7,000 people here. And we're actually in the primary hall between the hotel and the conference center. So it is highly likely we will be interrupted or you'll see us smiling and waving at people as they walk by.
Mostly him.
Mostly me.
Yeah.
We're really not just making it
I can stay focused.
In fact, I'm feeling a really bright light come out right now. It's like an aura. It's like angelic.
Right.
But no, I don't think so. They put us under a skylight. But yeah, so you may see some distractions here from time to time, but that's what we're doing. So, Mark, lead off with the questions for Mr. Anderson here.
Well, Mr. Anderson from the Matrix.
I've been called worse.
I bet you have. So I know you're on a panel here at WCI, and you're kind of talking about outcomes and how to drive outcomes. And one of our good friends and business partners, Melissa Steger, ran the University of Texas system for a long time. And I know you got some statistics and stuff from it. So you're really kind of focused on maybe the other side of the coin of driving financial outcomes and cost effectiveness and efficiency. Tell us a little bit, kind of give a preview of your particular session.
Absolutely. This is a session by the National Workers' Compensation Review, which we've been doing here since 2006 with George Kagan and Bill Pipkin. And we have had a partnership with the College of Workers' Compensation Lawyers for a number of years. After I was on that board, we got that started, and it's been a delightful thing to have representatives of the college come down and share ideas on what might make workers' compensation better. The session that we have that we'll be doing tomorrow at 1 here is going to include myself as a moderator, Dill Battle, defense lawyer from West Virginia.
From West Virginia.
Great guy. Dill's a great guy.
Dave Marchetti, claimants lawyer from Chicago, and Kathy Serback, who's now on the Pennsylvania Commission.
Great panel.
So
it is a great panel.
With a lot of good perspectives to share about different things that might make a difference. And we don't pretend to have all of the answers at all of what would be good or bad. With the different perspectives, we might not even agree on what would be good or bad.
We are live podcasting right now.
Catherine, come on around.
Hey, you want to come in?
Come around.
This is the way it works.
Just join in.
Catherine Benavides of Iowa.
Hey,
Hi.
Catherine.
So,
Good to see everyone.
Right.
there you go. And I thought I was the one who crashed podcast.
No. Catherine is CEO and founder of IMO, and have been a long-time sponsor of Work Comp College, and her entire team just graduated. Her entire leadership team went through WRP. So that video got posted on LinkedIn earlier last week. So
Suddenly you show up in the paparazzi are swarming.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Just follow her around.
She brought her team. So, Catherine, we're speaking to at least maybe 3 people out there. Anything that you want to?
Don't get nervous now.
Don't get nervous. Yeah, actually, it's the entire planet.
Whoever you are that's listening, sign up for the Work Comp College.
Oh,
I challenge you to do it. It's just such a great experience. Good teamwork.
Absolutely.
And now we're going to just do some mighty things out there.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. So this was an unsolicited prompt.
So, Catherine, you've been doing case management. You've been doing case management for a long time. How has that evolved over time from when you first created IMO 20 years ago,
34 years ago.
33 years ago. Wow.
34.
34. So yeah, my hearing's not great. Yeah, I was rounding up. So tell us a little bit how case management has evolved over that. That's a long time.
You know what? It was our anchor service, and it is still our anchor service. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Even establishing all the managed care components, the healthcare network, which needs case management, the integration, the complex care management that's come into play. We're actually moving into the group health side, and we're starting to do complex care management on the group health side, which is going to open up another, it's called Touchpoint Pathway. So stay tuned for that, because that's going to be growing, we believe. Other than that, I would say, managed care is managed care, and we love doing it. So we plan to be around a lot longer.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
That's
Nice
wonderful.
to see you guys.
Good to see
Absolutely.
you.
Thanks for joining us.
stopping by.
Absolutely.
All right.
Catherine.
See ya. Bye.
So, Jim.
Yes.
Yeah, Jim, we were talking about you. I'm sorry.
That's quite all right.
Who is this again?
Yeah. Mr. Anderson.
Yeah.
We'll start over again.
Well, it's an interesting thing that Catherine's husband is also named Jim Anderson, but I'm
That's
not that
true.
Jim Anderson.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could get really awkward. And the internet's where rumors start, right?
That's exactly right.
Really, don't tell your wife.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Jim, about the panel, it sounds like you got a variety of perspectives: the defense counsel, claimants counsel, and then Pennsylvania
Uh-huh.
on the what was the role?
Commission. She's a commissioner.
Commissioner. Gotcha. So regulatory. So
Yeah.
what do you anticipate kind of rolling through in 60 minutes? Because 60 minutes goes by really quick, as Bob and I can attest.
yeah, no kidding.
It really, really does. And one of the things I think we're going to find is that there's not always an agreement among the different segments of the workers' compensation industry in situations such as this. But I think we're going to talk about a variety of things that will be at least identifying some of the problems. One of the issues that we have to deal with in the workers' compensation community is the availability of appropriate medical treatment. And we see more and more docs who don't want to treat workers' compensation cases. We see the aging of the medical profession itself, the shortage of doctors that we are being told to expect by 2030 is like 30,000 fewer physicians than we actually need due to retirements and aging and so forth. So how we address that problem is one of those things that I doubt we will be able to say this is the only solution to that problem. It just is not going to work out like that. We're going to talk about a variety of other things that might make a difference. I am a huge fan of the idea of 50 workers' compensation systems is too many. There needs to be some coordination. There needs to be some effort at finding the positives in the various systems that are out there and working together to enforce those positives and make them cross state lines. Find ways to do that to make our system better. I think there needs to be a focus on empathy training. Everybody in the comp system is dealing with an injured worker. And if you're approaching that job from the standpoint that you don't care about that individual, you're not helping the solution. You're not finding a solution to that problem. So why not have some real solid empathy training that can help people understand what those injured workers are dealing with and focus on the idea of recovery rather than, well, here's another claim. Dadgummit, I've got to pay another claim. Something bad happened to that individual. Help them get over that as best you can. This also goes to the employer side from the standpoint of there's too much focus on disability and not enough focus on ability. Why don't we redesign our forms to focus on abilities? Why don't we rewrite job descriptions to focus on abilities? Those kinds of things could begin to make a difference, I think, in the ultimate outcomes that we will see in the workers' compensation community. So again, are these ideas that'll work? We don't know, but without the right focus, they'll never get a chance to get started. One of the things that we're going to talk about in our panel is the cost of workers' compensation. And as you indicated earlier, Mark, Texas has done an amazing job. Texas cost per $100 of payroll is the lowest in the nation at 42 cents per $100 of payroll. The highest is Wyoming at something like $1.68. What are the differences across the lines that provide that spread? The average is like 97 cents per $100 of payroll.
The interesting there is the two states you cited are really outliers in the workers' comp
Exactly
system.
right.
Texas is, of course, non-subscriber. You've got
Right.
72% subscription rate. You have
Right.
a lot of uncovered employers. Wyoming, of course, is a completely monopolistic system.
Right.
So that is interesting So I know Oregon also runs very high in
They
cost
do.
per dollar. California.
Right.
But there are differences in those systems, no doubt.
Absolutely. And so, how do we begin to make some changes there that will take the best of the best systems and apply that perhaps to the worst of the systems that are out there, so that you can begin to perhaps get some common numbers that you could work with there?
Mhm. Well, Bob had a conversation one time with the state regulator. We won't tell which,
I was about
but
to tell this story.
yeah, okay, well, go ahead then.
Well, you're talking about the forms?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a challenge when you talk about consolidating some of the processes across state lines. There has been an effort before to do something as complicated as coming up with a common FROI, first report of injury, where all the states take essentially exactly the same information, but on a different form.
Right.
And I know that 17 states worked on a project. A now retired administrator from a central southern state spearheaded it, and she really tried to get it done. They could not come to an agreement. And when this conversation revived itself at a SACA conference, one of the regulators, and I will not name the state, somewhat good-naturedly, but with a tone of serious intent underneath it, said his state would be more than happy to use a common FROI as long as it was theirs. And to me, that really encapsulated the challenges you're going to face in trying to find a common area. If we can't even come together and agree on a piece of paper that takes the same information for every state,
Right.
we're going to have big problems consolidating or coordinating consistencies across those state lines.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely true, but it has happened before. Look at the insurance industry overall. You've got the insurance commissioner organization, where people have gotten together and they have standardized insurance policy forms, as an example, and some other details within their systems. And so I think it's possible.
But were those forms the design? And you're in an area I know nothing about, which actually, so is workers' comp, but don't tell anybody.
We've known that for years.
Were those, oh, damn it, I was hoping to hide it another couple till I could hit retirement. Were those areas that you're referencing regulated by a governing body in terms of the way the forms are used and designed, or was it private industry getting together to standardize like the Accord forms?
That really probably was a distinction there.
Okay,
really
just that's
probably
the key is probably the regulatory bodies, and I say that with a lot of friends who are regulators. Good people, but they're working with what the legislators have handed them in their own systems. So the sun is out again. We're getting that very bright aura here.
Yeah. Is there something, Jim, that you have a working hypothesis? Because you talked about in broad terms that there's got to be something that we could potentially do in and around. Is there one particular thing that you've kind of wrapped your head around? If we could just agree on this in multiple jurisdictions, that would have a positive effect on things?
I think it's the focus on ability as opposed to disability. If we could do that paradigm shift so that we do see those positive things that every injured worker has, if we had an employer who was willing to work with that individual and maximize that injured worker's potential in some employment relationship there, I think we would begin to see some change in the outcome.
I absolutely agree with that. I have grown personally to hate the word disability.
I agree
because it is, and think about it. You take the DIS, the letters DIS, and add it to the front of any word, and you end up with a very negative connotation.
Absolutely.
And a disability is these are things you can no longer do. You are no longer capable, where we really need to focus on what is still the ability. I absolutely.
I heard a speaker who will remain nameless at this point do a presentation.
Wasn't one of either one of us, was it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oops.
But it was a new concept, and I had him speak at our conference in Mississippi to talk about the idea of workers' recovery.
I think
being
I
the
know that guy.
focus. You may know
I
that
may
guy.
We're narrowing it
I'm
down.
narrowing it down. I'll move in a little closer.
Yeah.
Now.
But I do think that absolutely will make a difference. A paradigm shift that talks about ability, recovery, all of that will make a difference in the long run. And that will necessarily involve training on empathy,
Yep.
a refocusing of the energy and what the claim is all about.
Mm-hmm.
I remember handling a claim one time where hired by the carrier and representing the employer and carrier, of course. And I went to meet with the employer, and his attitude was, well, he could have got hurt anywhere. Well, he
But he
could
didn't.
have, but
He
He got hurt there.
You
Yeah.
know, so what are you going to do with that? You still going to be mad at him because he got hurt at work, at your
Yeah.
job? So I think that paradigm shift will make a big difference at the end of the day in what workers' compensation should be. So,
Well, you're a recovering attorney. Kind of taking a different tack with MSA. What's one of the things in making that transition from starting a law firm that still has your name affixed to it, and being in that for multiple decades into a different kind of, not completely you didn't focus on MSAs. It was obviously a component of what you did, but what is it like to make that career transition relatively late in your career?
well, I've been at workers' defense for a long time. Somebody said it was 4.5 decades, but I couldn't be that old. So I think maybe decades were only 5 years back when I got
Yeah,
started.
that could
Yeah,
be. It's like dog years.
Decades were shorter
Yeah,
back
they
then.
were. They
but-
really were. But I think that the thing that I have become most aware of is just how complicated the Medicare secondary payer environment is. Practicing law for many years, I knew what I was doing with everything that I had assigned to me and entrusted to me to handle. And I've had a new learning curve to struggle with in this MSP environment that has been a nice, refreshing challenge. I just don't have the young mind that I used to remember everything that I learn every day.
That's okay. That's why you got young people around you, right?
That's exactly right.
And
That's
I
exactly
heard
right.
that
Not
you.
at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we're all old. So finishing up, Jim. I know that you're a guitar player. What is your favorite song to play other than Inagata Davida? But what is your favorite song to play that brings people around the campfire and wants them to do s'mores?
Well, you have to understand that I am a much better buyer of guitars than I am a player of guitars. I'm a real Taylor guitar fan, so I've had several of those over the years. But to be perfectly candid, I don't play much anymore. I just don't have that opportunity and haven't taken advantage of it, so I can't tell you what I would play around a campfire for anybody.
Well, is there any particular song that you ever have played? Let me maybe make it a little bit broader that you really enjoyed. Hotel California,
Anything
Black
by
Dog,
Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven,
Anything by the
Freebird.
anything by the Eagles.
Okay, anything by the Eagles. Gotcha. Well, we won't make you sing on the exit then.
Thank you. Appreciate
All right.
that.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Workers Comp. Any final words from the man in the back?
Nope. No.
A man of
Thanks,
many
guys.
words.
I appreciate it. Love the recovery plug. That was wonderful. So, and I think I'm total agreement with you on that.
Perfect. Well, thanks so
Absolutely.
much. And
All right.
remember, if you are here at WCI, 1 o'clock tomorrow.
1 o'clock tomorrow.
Do you know the room?
Yes, 8.
Don't point. That won't help.
Yeah, it's
That's
right
right,
over
go
there.
ahead.
It's right over there.
It's 8 A and B.
Okay. Great. Well, thanks so much, Jim.
All right. Thanks so much.
All righty.